Did we do it?
We're live.
Success! Hey, that's a big time celebration right there. Everyone that's watching, man, we were struggling. We were putting some stuff together. It just wasn't coming together, but guess what we did? What did we do, Mick? What did we do?
We moved on. We went, you know what? Let's just do it anyway. Let's just get out there. Let's persist and let's go live. Let's just get out there and share this amazing information with the world. Let's do it.
Absolutely, yes. But boom, and that's how it's done. Straight up, that's how it's done, just like that. You push forward no matter what comes in your way, no matter what's out there trying to stop you in your business or in your life or whatnot. It is about moving forward. It is about pushing ahead. My gosh, this is exciting today. Mick, now you've got control of the meeting, Mick. Do we have some people watching? Are we seeing some people in the waiting room taking a little peek? What do we have right now?
Let me have a quick look.
Cool.
We don't have anyone watching right now, but that's okay.
Not a worry. We're gonna give it like everyone's watching, and that's the most important thing. So today, we're gonna have a little discussion about some business. We've had some questions come to us over the last week or whatnot, just about business, how to optimize in this time. Mick, I think you mentioned to me about you had a tattoo studio, maybe having some ideas about doing this. I've had another business mention about innovation. How do I innovate in this time? What does innovation mean? Is there a process? We're going to talk about that. But most importantly, let's introduce ourselves. Mick, take it away, brother.
I'm Mick Scottney from Awaken Business. I'm out here in the beautiful, sunny Mount Isa, following the same rules as everyone else, but we are lucky enough so far to not have any COVID-19 out here. So we're going okay, feeling the same impacts as everyone else. But there's so much opportunity in the world, and that's why I want to share with the world how we can create opportunity in this crazy, uncertain times, unprecedented economic impact that's happened. So, I'm out here to share the love, help as many businesses as we can, and let's crack on. Jamie, let's introduce you.
Awesome. Myself, my name is Jamie Adamchuk. I represent UE Coaching, my own business coaching consulting company that works with businesses to help them close that gap from really where they are right now, if there's a struggle, to how to overcome it, how to build that bridge, how to get to that next phase in their business. I'm excited to share this practical knowledge, these tools, these skills to really give back and make a difference. This is what this is all about. We're not asking for anything. We're not looking for people to come and join us and be our clients. This is about us being able to give back. In this time, man, giving back's the answer. Giving back is the absolute answer right now. You know, Mick and I, we got talking about it. We said, hey, what's the best way we can do this? Well, let's take some of our practical knowledge. Let's take some of the things that we've learned and really give it back out there. Today's incredible. Today's amazing. We've got some questions lined up, like I mentioned. And, with that said, let's dig right in. Mick, I love the tattoo studio idea. You were talking to me about that one. Give us some context around that, because I had a little bit of an idea, but share, please do.
So messaging a person in a group, and he mentioned he's a tattoo studio and he's been forced to close, obviously, with the government-imposed restrictions, and didn't know what to do. And there's two ways you probably need help. Is firstly, how does he bring some income in now? His whole revenue stream has been turned off because he's a tattoo studio and people can't come in. And then two, how does he position or prepare or innovate to take advantage of any upside going forward?
Excellent.
So, that's the sort of background context. And now the two layers of help, or two layers of the problem, I suppose, is how does he get some income now? Because need cash to survive, you need to be able to keep the business up. And then secondly, how can you position to take real advantage of that going forward? I'd love to hear your ideas, Jamie. Let's fire away.
So I thought about this one here, and this is kind of interesting because certainly tattoos, even though some of us might disagree, tattoos, they're just not those essential services. We just can't sneak it in. I don't think there's any way we can look at it that's going to sneak us in for essential services. But what can we do right now? If all I did was just focus on what I can't do, man, I'm not going to come up with any solutions. That's not going to happen. I'm just going to simply see the problem. But here's what's really great. I started thinking, well, what could a person do? And a couple ideas came to mind. Number one, hey, we've got time right now. We're in this place, we're in this space where we've got some time. What's the opportunity to do some really great custom art? What's the opportunity to maybe get on a call if it's the tattoo artist and the potential client, set aside some time to really do a personal consultation, to really create the art, to do some of that drawing, to spend that extra time, to maybe have an offer, some sort of offer that says, okay, obviously we can't do the tattoo right now, but you know what? Tell you what, I'm going to give you a special deal on it. You pay for it right now, and when this is done, we're going to get you scheduled in. We're going to get you to the top of the list. That's just one of the ideas that came along. What I see here is a couple things. I see the ability to provide even more value. I've got a few tattoos myself, and great tattoo artists, nothing wrong with them, but I always knew that they were busy, right? There was a bit of an urgency. There's always just that little bit of urgency around the time, around the amount of time that they had to spend with me doing some of the designs and whatnot. Now we've got a lot of that. We've really got that time. If it was me, if I was in that situation, I'd be saying, okay, how can I spend even more time right now really working with my clients? How can I give them an even better deal? How can I start to generate some of that revenue? And whereby, I'm not saying they've got to pay for it all right now, but what if they're starting to give us 20, 30, 40% of the bill, whatever it is? I don't know what the standard is for it out there. But to bring it forward, to lock in the spot so that when this COVID is done, when it's over, they've got that position in there. And then, you know what, they can really get that really super customized art that's really going to work. That's one thought, one idea. Mick, what do you got for us? What else has come? What else has percolated since you shared this over with me?
I really love that idea, and I had a similar thought around locking people into pre-buy, but I really love to for instant cash is to sign them up and schedule them for once it's all over. But I really love the idea and the concept you put forward about adding more value and spending time with each client to really get the artwork right, do the custom art, and offer that as an additional free package if you pay your deposit or your half up front or whichever way that they decide to go. But I think it's a really, really valuable key message in this innovation is what can we do to add more value now, not just get money. How can we add more value to our client? And because he's got the time, and I love that, I also come up with an idea of maybe running a custom tattoo in the positioning side to run a tattoo competition, custom art competition. Best tattoo, the best custom art, judge which one's the best, and they get a free tattoo or they get some service from you on the flip side of this, but run a competition to promote not only your art and your tattoos, but the industry wide, and the best COVID isolation tattoo competition, and then run that out, and then that will generate a lot of media because lots of people have tattoos. I don't. I'm a clean skin.
So far,
not against tattoos. Just haven't found anything that I want to leave permanently on my body. So that's something, and having that the reach of having a tattoo competition and people from all over the world putting on all the social platforms to have the best COVID tattoo design would really, really create a lot of traction and noise in the industry, I think, and would really promote that person as someone who's proactive, and especially if they do good quality art, then it's going to really highlight the quality of their art. So I think there's a few fronts there, and I really think doing it, and there's a few other things along that line you could do to position yourself, is do some preparation videos, how to prepare yourself to come in for a tattoo, how to care for your tattoos, just do some social media videos, caring for your tattoos, do that to help educate people about tattoos and how to look after them and how to make sure the colours don't fade and do those sorts of things, and just put that out there to add value to the clients now so that people go, I really want to go, remember that guy who chucked that video on telling us how to look after our tattoos? I'll use that guy. He was really good. I liked the way he connected with me, just to really build that awareness and build yourself as the expert in the industry.
Absolutely. I love that because there's a couple things going on. Number one, it's defying the standard, right? A lot of industries, a lot of businesses out there, well, that's my competition, that's my competition, that's my competition. What you suggest is bringing everyone together, getting on that one, and I'm going to use the word social. I don't necessarily mean social media, but that one social platform to all come together to really highlight some of those designs, this, that, who you are, what you do, what you can create. Man, that really defies the odds, or defies the standards. It takes away that segregation between business to business to business and really brings everyone together. It shows them the community, right, of tattoos. And isn't that a part of it? right? Tattoos, I want to belong. I want a piece of something. I want some art. I want something that, gets me in that community, to have me belong with that. Look at you. You've got no tattoos. I've got tattoos, right? It's that idea of, hey, I belong to the tattoo community. People
Yeah.
love that, right? That's really a big one there. That's really defying that standard of, segregation of all these little businesses all around there. That's humongous, right? That's a beautiful idea.
It
The
is. It's
opportunity.
a massive idea.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, it's a massive idea, and now's the time, especially with what's going on in business innovation, that we need to collaborate and work together, not compete against each other. And this is not the jungle where it's let's fight for the one piece of meat that's there. Let's see how we can get more meat collectively.
Exactly.
Let's work together to make sure there's enough for everybody, not fight over that one scrap that's left on the table.
Exactly.
I think that's a really important part of how people will thrive in this current time, and the people that will be really take advantage of the upside on the other side of this was the people who have helped to make sure there's enough for everybody and not scrapped over that one last coffee customer in the town. That's worked together to add more value. So
yeah, many people know that I'm a humongous fan of Gary Vee, and I mean, he talks about content all the time. Straight up, that getting it out there, that sharing, that taking the time to create the videos, the aftercare videos, to really put in the time and effort to set yourself apart. There's never been a better time than now. More people than ever, unless you're watching the Tiger King. Sorry, Tiger King. But unless you're watching the Tiger King on Netflix, more people than ever, they're on their social media. They're on their phones. They're going through. They're looking at Facebook. They're looking at all that stuff. Take advantage of that attention. Right? People's attention is the most important thing that we can get. And right now, right, that attention, it's out there. It's there. It's available. Take advantage of it. Get something out there. Right? Really share that stuff out there. Anything else on the tattoo? Any other thoughts, any other ideas that come together for that tattoo parlor, to, the people that are in those studios and stuff, to help them thrive? Does anything else come up for you right now?
From a cash flow perspective, I'd challenge them to think is, what do they have that complements their service that they can still sell online? So with tattoos, is there tattoo care products? Is there maybe art design kits for budding tattoo artists? Is there what is, and let's forget there's a box. Let's just think anything that, so tattoos are generally artists. They all like to draw, or every tattoo artist I've ever met likes to draw. People who like tattoos love nice art. So is there something on the art side or the drawing side that they can use to complement and sell that as an online product, or some product that they use as a tattoo artist that the everyday person could use as well? I'd challenge them to think about that, to what they could sell to online to get some revenue, because we don't know how long in Australia they're not reviewing the current measures for another 4 weeks. So whatever's going on right now, it's like this for at least 4 weeks. Then they're going to review how to scale them off or what's going on, Yes, so this is not just going to end tomorrow and everything will go back to normal. We've got another month minimum. And a lot of people can't survive, and you can't live on government handouts. So, and you want your business to be successful still. So what can you do in your business to generate some income from online sales? What can you sell? Most people's shops can be opened to sell stuff. You just can't do tattooing. So you can even open your shop front if you wanted to sell stuff in. I know a beauty therapist has done the same thing. She can't do beauty services, but she's selling all her products still. Her shop's still open to sell product. So what products does the tattoo industry sell?
Exactly. And I like to think of that as, even if you can't keep that front door open, can you keep the back door open? Can you keep that wholesale product, that shipping, all that sort of stuff? Can you keep it happening? I mean, let's face it, Amazon's still out there. I mean, I see the Amazon trucks all the time. They're running up and down. We're still getting deliveries. We can still utilize that. It's simply about thinking outside the box. It's simply about really putting together a process for innovation. And that's one of the things that I wanted to discuss here, really a process for innovation, to give back. Again, to share a tool, to share a strategy share maybe even a little bit of a mindset of what it takes to really innovate, right? First thing for me, when I start thinking about innovation, it's that I do have to think outside of that box. Like you said, Mick, there is no box. Forget about the box. Chuck the box out. We don't have a box, right? If anything was possible, what could we do or what would we do? The process of innovation, it starts from that point. Look at everything that you've got. Look at what you've got available. Look at what you've got access to. And instead of worrying, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. Well, what could I do? If I could do anything, if I was unlimited in what I could do, what I could share, how I could get stuff out, what would I do? Process piece number one, list it all out. Get all those ideas out of your head. And this isn't, just some practical process. It is the process for really truly creating innovation. If you leave it up here, if you leave it stuck up here in your head, you're not going to be able to see that success because things get jumbled up there, right? You'll think about this, you'll think about that. Oh, squirrel, right? We get distracted, we forget. Number one key thing that you can do with respect to innovation is to get it out. Now, if we've got it out, I'm curious what your thoughts are, Mick. If I've got it out, I took the time, I took the space, the place to get everything out of my head. I've got this big list of everything. What would you do next? Now that we've got this list, what would you do next?
Well, the next step is and it happens all of the time. When you look at that list, there'll be 20% of them will be the obvious 20%, and they will get you 80% of the way there. So the next thing I would do is I'll look at that list and go, what's the 20% of things in that list that's going to get me 80% of the result? Yep, we want 100%, but what's the first steps we need to do? The first steps we need to do is tackle the low-hanging fruit, the things that are going to get the big results, build momentum, and then you'll get rolling. So let's look at that list, and every list is the same. There's 2 or 3 or 4 things on there that are going to get you the biggest results the quickest. So let's do those first. Prioritize the low-hanging fruit, get them done, build momentum, start the ball rolling. And that's really, really important because if you tackle that hardest, most difficult thing that's going to give you the last 5% first, 99.9% of people are going to lose interest, get disheartened, it's going to get too challenging, and they're not going to see it through. The people that are successful tackle the little things, those low-hanging fruit, and then work up to those harder things as they go to refine their business.
Yeah, and you nailed it right there. Let's pick on that 20% that's going to get us there. It's the Perito Principle. That's what it is. It's the Perito Principle. Pick on the 20% that's going to get you 80% of the way towards results. This is really key. Pick the needle movers, the things that are going to actually make that difference, the things that are going to move you forward. I've always heard that term, pick the low-hanging fruit. I'm sure we've all heard that term. Here's the thing. Make sure the fruit is ripe. That's what we're looking for with that 20%, is the ripe fruit. It does you no good to pick the green fruit. Well, maybe unless you're picking avocados. But it does you no good to pick the green fruit, the fruit that's not ripe. I think cherries. I'd never pick green cherries. Right? I want them nice and juicy and red and tasty and all that sort of thing. I want the fruit ready to go. That's that 20% that's really going to move the needle. But to move the needle, to really do something with it, it takes prioritizing it in your activities. It takes actually setting time aside to get that stuff done. Right? So far, what have we got? We've got a list. We know what the needle movers are. And if we just, we're running around saying, hey, I got my list, that's not getting you any closer to your outcome. The key here is to take some sort of action. And the only way to take action is to make sure that you're delegating time in those blocks of time, big blocks, little blocks, whatever blocks that you have, but you're really investing in that time to make sure that you're moving it forward. Right? Some of the ideas on your list, on your process of innovation, I've got to be, how can I do it different? Right? Is it me maybe, making contact with some outside supplier, someone that can maybe drop ship something? Could I reach out to a company where I don't even have to physically handle the product? Beauty, that's one right there. That's a really great way to think about it. I work with some doctors, physical therapists, chiropractors, and stuff like that. And some of them are really starting to think, okay, I can't have that hands-on connection anymore. We've got social distancing, we've got all that. But what can I do? Can I teach people? Could I sell some exercise bands through my website or something and then come up with an actual physical therapy program for these people via Zoom, via something like this, still get that money, still make money off of the actual product, never even touch the product because I'm going to have the supplier direct ship right to the consumer. Right? That's just one more idea. One more idea. It takes taking action on those outcomes, and it takes taking consistent action. 3 really simple steps. Get your list out. Figure out what the needle movers are, schedule the time in, and then actually do the tasks that you say, right? Be creative. Mick said it perfectly. Forget about the box. There's no box. Don't even think about the box. Just get that stuff out there.
And that's on point, Jamie. And if you don't do the actions, do the work, you never get the results. So you can think about things all you want, but there's got to be a time where you've got to actually schedule the work in and do the work. These things do require work, so schedule it in and do it. That's one of the key parts. I love the way you said that.
Yeah, and there is a mindset around that, right? No joke, right? There's a mindset around why people do anything. Any appointment that you've ever had in your life, doesn't matter what it is, any appointment that you've ever had that you've successfully showed up for and that you've successfully completed when you said you're going to complete it, that's your pattern of success right there. Do that. Come in with that same idea. Come in with that same mindset. I mean, if it's a specialist appointment, say we didn't have the COVID, say everything was working normal, and you had a specialist appointment that was set up, what would you do to get into that specialist appointment? Well, you'd do everything. We know for the most of us, hey, when it comes to a specialist, maybe it's a specialist eye doctor or whatever the situation is, you're going to do everything because it can be hard to get those specialist appointments. Put that same sort of effort, that same sort of determination, that same sort of mindset to work to achieve those pieces that you've scheduled in. If it's an hour to, reach out to 5 different suppliers who have the ability to direct ship those exercise bands. I'll just pick on exercise bands, right? If it's doing that during that 1 hour block, double down on that. Set yourself up for success. Turn off all the distractions, right? Get in that place where you're absolutely crushing it, and then go and do that. Treat it the same. It's not any less important, even though you might be still home. It's like, hey, you know what? I'm home. I'm not in the work environment. I can chill. I can relax. I can watch Tiger King. Sorry, I love bringing up the Tiger King thing. It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh.
It's the most ridiculous show I've ever seen.
Oh my God, right? Tiger King, right? Pretty soon, if I keep talking about it, I'm going to want to feed myself to the tigers. I digress. Anyways, though, right? Anyways, give it that same sort of meaning, the same sort of context, the same sort of reason as to why you get into that specialist appointment. This is no different. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. If you've scheduled it, then do it like it's the only thing that matters. Treat it like it's the only thing that matters, because that's what gets it done. You've taken the time to create your list. You've taken the time to do all the work to get it to that point. So figure it out. If it's the 5 calls, pick up the phone, start calling. Just start making it happen. If it's sending emails or doing whatever you got to do that. It's not complicated, but it can be difficult.
Definitely, most certainly. And I think the key message there is that the difference between when you book in an appointment with the specialist and when you just put some time aside is what value you place on that time or that. With the specialist, you're like, well, I won't be able to get into that, so that's highly valuable and that's rare. But I've got all the other time in the world. I can just do that another time. So placing that same value on each chunk of time that you have that you would on some specialist or something that was challenging to get, just that's placing that value on the time, I think, is the key part of that. That really reinforces, puts you in that right 6 steps for success.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got to be okay with pivoting. We've got to be okay to think outside that box. We've got to be okay with new ideas that we might not have ever done before, and be open to it. Here's the other thing that works really great. Reach out to the people around you. Reach out to your friends, your family, whoever it is, and say, hey, do you have any ideas? Right? I've done this before. I'm doing some work right now on my website. I'm working with a gentleman here who's going to be completely recreating my website, doing a bunch of work there. And me, when it comes to design, straight up, I suck. My artistic side of me, on a scale of 100, I'm like a 13. I have like 0 artistic skill in me whatsoever. What's really great, though, is I've got the context. I can write the words. I can write the copy. I can do all that sort of stuff. But when it comes to design and flow and this, I'm useless. He comes in, he's able to share just a ton of information with me, give me a whole bunch of different ideas. All the neurons in my brain are firing off. And it's like, wow, he helped me paint the picture. Yes, I've got the words, I've got the content, but it was actually him who's able to take that content, take those words, and put it into something that looks beautiful, that's going to make sense, and that a person can come. Ask around, ask outside, get those different trains of thought, those different people taking a look at it, because oftentimes they might see something in your business that you don't. They might see the opportunity. I mean, I have people coming to me all the time. What can I do? What can I do? One of the first things I'm going to tell them is, where can you make a difference? Where can you give back? We'll usually come up with some sort of specific strategy. Is it now creating a funnel for product, for this, for that? Whatever it is, we'll figure that out. But it really takes that outside perspective. Mick, I want you to bring this up again, because one of the things that I'm really, really stuck on in a really good way is what we talked about last week. We talked about the transfer company, tying it into wine tours and all that. I'd really love you to bring that up again, because that was a bit of a game changer for me when I heard your vision on that. Can you share that again?
Yeah, so we talked about last week, there was a bus transfer. So they do, pick up tourists from airports, take them to tour destinations, hotels, all tourism. Take them. They also do wine tours out into the wine, I suppose, regions and that kind of thing. And the way I thought is they could set up virtual wine tours, take people away, tee up with 2 or 3 wineries, get a few bottles, organise a virtual wine tour where we've got the vineyard, the winemaker comes on and does the tasting with them virtually, sets it all up. And, I offer wine tours. So still offer wine tours, but virtually. Take the bottles, grab the sample cases. Yep, there's going to be some things you're going to need to do, but it will be a game changer for wine tasting. Even moving forward, if I could go to the Barossa Valley on a wine tour this weekend with my wife, have all of the bottles here, have a beautiful glass, have the experience of a Barossa Valley wine tour, which is one of the famous wine regions in Australia, I would pay for that right now. I'm stuck in isolation, but what if I could go to the Barossa Valley for 4 hours on a Saturday afternoon with my wife? That would be amazing. Like, this is, and that's just an idea that came from thinking, well, he offers wine tours. How could we leverage off some of his knowledge or some of his connections to do something now? What is something that I could offer right now that's in the industry, or it leverages off what I already have and what I already know? You don't have to reinvent the wheel and start a whole different business model. Leverage what you've got and pivot. I love this word pivot that's been thrown around at the moment, because that's what business is about. Sometimes you've got to pivot and change, and that's just what it's about. And I really love that virtual wine tour concept. I think it's going to be a huge thing.
Absolutely. And just that idea to be a part of it. Say it's an exclusive Zoom group or something where you're going to come on for 3-4 hours. Right? You would pre-order the wine or something like that. You'd have it shipped to you. You'd have it. It's all there. Everyone's got their wine. We'd confirm, and then you'd book that time. Right? Granted, it's going to be virtual, but if I could sit there, if I could, start off, and maybe I've got the actual winemaker himself. Okay, we're going to uncork now. Here's what you want to do. Maybe they give us some instructions beforehand. Okay, you want to decant this and this and this. Maybe it's a 3-pack, a 6-pack, whatever. There's some opportunities. Right, you're actually doing it live. Okay, so all of you who've decanted the Cab Sauv, go grab your Cab Sauv now. We're going to pour it in. We talk about pouring it. We talk about grabbing the wine glass, how we swirl it around, what we're looking for, the aromas. What am I smelling? Right, take a taste. Do this, do that. Maybe they've created a little idea for a charcuterie board or something like that. We've got the meats, the cheese, the things that we're going to pair it with. My God, that would be an experience. I love wine. I'm a wine whore. I'm a total wine. I love wine. I freaking love wine. And I would go to wine tastings and stuff like that. But if I can't do it in person, if I can't be right there, then I could do it like this. I could do it through this mechanism, through this means, whereby I'm getting a customized, beautiful tour. I'm a part of other people. Maybe I see them on Zoom, but I'm having that experience, albeit virtual. That could be a game changer for me, because let's face it, poor Tiger King's going to come up again. I'm sick of watching the Tiger King. I don't want to watch the Tiger King. I want to be with other people, even if it's virtual. And I believe we could really do that. I believe that could be an absolute game changer.
And that's true. And as humans, we want connection. We thrive on human connection. That's something that we crave. And being able to sit with some of Australia's best winemakers, if you could tee up, or some of the like wine regions like the Macedon Ranges north of Melbourne, the amazing, do beautiful Pinot and Chardonnay, and I've got a friend who has a winery there. Be able to spend 2 hours or 3 hours with the winemaker, telling you the story of their vineyard, telling you, when you taste the wine, the education you'd get out of that. Just I spent an hour with him and telling me how the different wines and why you get different flavors, and when he makes it, if you do this to it, this is how you get that flavor in there. And just this, it literally blew my mind. Imagine being able to share that experience. That's why Saladors are popular, but imagine being able to share that that experience in the home. Like, it's just, like, I love wine too. I'll put my hand up. I really enjoy a nice glass of red wine. And look, that would be something, and there's lots of people around the world that do. And, right now people would love to be able to go on a Napa Valley wine tour. So I think it's going to be a game changer for people in the tourism industry, because they have to pivot and get started on it.
Yeah, exactly. That's that key word right now. Maybe one of the most important questions that you can ask is, what can I do right now that will add an unbelievable amount of value to my clients? What can I do right now that will add an unbelievable amount of value to my clients, and maybe for some people that I can help? I talk about the help thing because that's really important. My best friend, we sat down, we had a conversation yesterday morning, actually, and he shared with me something really profound. He's over in Medicine Hat, Alberta. He shared with me one of the pet stores there, not one of the big chain pet stores or anything like that, not one of the big corporate stores or anything, but one of the local independent pet stores. Right? Obviously, they're an essential service. They need to provide pet food, all that sort of stuff. But what he did was something really interesting and really unique. And this isn't something that was solicited. This isn't something that was designed to gain me popularity or, oh, hey, look how cool I am by what I'm giving back. No, what this person did is they set up a little table in their store. And the idea behind it was like have a penny, leave a penny. We all remember that. In Canada, we don't have pennies anymore. But it was the whole take a penny, leave a penny thing. Same sort of thing, but he's had like toilet paper. He had like craft dinner, boxes of macaroni and cheese, little things like that, because sometimes people would come in and they just didn't have that means. Right? I'm hearing stories about still all the time. The toilet paper thing just blows me away. But I'm hearing stories about someone puts the toilet paper in their cart, they turn around to grab something off the shelf, and the toilet paper's gone out of their cart because someone's grabbing it. Right? Maybe there's still this shortage of toilet paper. I don't know. But he had stuff like that just on here. It wasn't a publicity stunt. It wasn't for PR. It wasn't for anything. It was that general place of goodness to give back. Right? What happened out of that? Yeah, the news came in. They did a big deal up on it. And I think that's really amazing. That's the kind of stuff that absolutely lights me up. So when I say, what can I do now to provide an unbelievable amount of value to my clients, to the people around, think about some of those things. Now get it. Money's tight. Right? Money's tight. I think I was on a call earlier there, and I think they were saying that the unemployment rate in the USA is 30+% or something like that. It's astronomical, and it's like that around the world. The USA is no exception or anything. It's like that around the world. And those people who don't have that money, how can you make that difference for them? How could you do something that gives back? Is there something in your business where you wanted to pivot that required someone that maybe now is the time, right? Maybe now is the time to find that VA, to find that person that can help you out. One of the questions I share with entrepreneurs all the time: does it have to be you, or must it be someone else? Does it have to be you, or must it be someone else? A lot of people who are working in their business, right? They're always working in their business. They're those people. It's like, man, I don't have money to expand. I can't scale. I can't grow right now because I don't have the money. But if they were simply to recognize that time that they're spending, the time and the effort that they're spending, is actually better spent to get someone virtual, someone that can do some of that paperwork, someone that can create, some of the content for them, whatever it is, to help that business grow. There's never been a better time than now. Right? Remember, opportunity guy here. I'm going to get that name. Like I'm sure it's like the opportunity guy here. I just did that for Jamie.
Jamie
But,
Upchuck, opportunity guy.
yeah, exactly. Jamie Adams, the opportunity guy. But really, it is the opportunity for that right now. Can your business help someone out by helping yourself out? Think about that. Can your business help someone out by helping someone else out? Someone who needs some work, someone who's skilled. A lot of those people who have those amazing, incredible skills when it comes to whether it's administration, whether it's standard operating procedures. I talk about standard operating procedures all the time. Some of those people have been laid off, right? Some of those people are out of work. Is it possible to help them by helping your business? I'd really like to challenge some people out there. That's an opportunity there. What do you think about that, Nick?
I think that's a huge opportunity right now, and it's something even in my own business. So I'm part of a trade contract business as well as my coaching consulting business, and that's something that we think about in our own business. Well, there's people out of work right now in areas where we need help. How can we leverage that? Who can we, is it creating content, or is it in stock and store management, or is there an area of a business that needs attention, that there's someone in the world right now, or someone in your area, or someone in your network that needs work? You may not have the money to pay them, but have a conversation. You'll be surprised what a conversation will do for you in relation to, hey, this is where I'm struggling right now. The way things are at the moment, people will be like, yeah, sure, I'll spend some time with you. I've got nothing else to do. I'll come in for a few days and help out. They add massive value. They get a role with you or you pay them some money, or you help them out some way. Like, there's so much opportunity right now. And to steal your phrase, there's so much opportunity right now to not only capitalize on what's happening in the market and what's going to happen, but to pivot your business to fix things that needed to be fixed, to change systems that weren't working that well, but you put up with them because that's how you've always done it. And with staff and with what's going on now, people are open to change because they're like, shit, things have got to change because otherwise it won't work. Businesses won't survive. So now's the time to make those changes, do those pivots, but it all starts with the owners of our business being able to be honest and go, well, we need help in this area, this area, this area. Let's make those phone calls. Let's get out there. Let's find the opportunity in that area to fix that, or to change that, or to pivot and move that into a different area. Or it is a huge opportunity, especially with the unemployment rate. And one thing, even in our other business, is we struggle to get tradespeople to relocate out into the country from the cities. I have more resumes than I've had in the last 2 years on my desk right now. People are willing to move out now because they're like, shit, maybe I do need to change a bit. Maybe there's no work here, so maybe I do need to shift. And that's an opportunity for us to pick up great staff, great tradespeople, great employees. So there's a huge opportunity in relation to this, with the opportunities and unemployment, not just in how to capitalize money-wise.
Yeah. And what I love you doing, and what I see you and what I hear you doing, is really taking advantage, in a good way, not in a bad way, but taking advantage of that opportunity. Hey, resumes are coming through. Instead of saying, you know what, I'm just going to pull the sheets over my head, I'm just going to pull the covers over my head and not worry about it and not look at it. No, what you're doing is you are seeing the opportunity in this. Like, hey, resumes abound. Let's get some really great people. Hey, maybe we can't hire them on right now. Maybe we can't bring them on this very second. Or maybe we can, depends on your situation. But whatever the situation is, if those resumes are coming through, if there's those opportunities to bring those people on, don't stick your head in the sand. Look for them. Be actively aware of it right now, because you're going to, the availability of the people right now has never been greater. We've never experienced anything like that. A whole world, okay, check this out, a whole world pause. Literally, a whole freaking world pause. Doesn't matter where you are. It's a whole world pause. There are right? There's opportunities to be made in this time. There's growth that can be made in this time. There's so much that we can do, as long as we're not, hiding away from it. Look for the opportunities, right? What can I do right now that adds a disproportionate amount of value, of service, of assistance to those that are around me, to my staff, to whatever it is? When you come from that place of service, you're going to win.
Every time. And that's one of the key things in all of this stuff is never lose sight of it's about adding value to your clients, to your community, and it's value-added marketing, whatever you want to call it. All successful or the vast majority of successful business people follow the principle of adding value to your clients. The more value you add, the more money they spend with you. And purely from a business perspective, if you add more value to them, that doesn't mean spend loads of money on them and buy them lots of stuff. Add more value to them. Find out what's valuable to them and add that to them, and they will want to spend more money with you. You'll increase your average spend per customer by double by adding more value to them. They'll want to sign up for another round of coaching, or they'll refer their friend to you or their mother to get their air conditioners put in, or they will refer their mate to get the tattoo done and say, mate, go with this tattoo studio. This dude rocks, man. He gave me all these videos. He did this, he did that, he did this, and he custom art. And all right, chucked all the stuff. He spent an hour doing this, and like all this stuff. I said, oh, wow, awesome. I'm going to him. Not, hey, how much is that guy? It's sweet. I want to use that guy. So they go in there and they get this guy. And that's how you be able to charge more. That's how you create more value. The way you be worth more is add more value. So it's one of the biggest principles that I like to follow, and that I think I get all my clients to follow, and I can't stress enough, is to add more value to your clients.
Yeah, no question whatsoever. It's the key. Right?
Yeah.
If you want to win in this game, if you want to win in this time, go and double down on the value. Go and provide that content. Go and provide that information. Be the leader in this time. Be the leader by really, truly stepping up and giving it your all. Right? I know, I get it. We all need money in this time, but at the same time, don't let your focus be about that. I promise you, when you provide a disproportionate amount of value, like give it all you've got right now, that will come back to you fourfold, tenfold, whatever it is. I promise you it will come back, because that's who people are going to remember. Mick and I doing these, right? I'm not asking for anything. I don't want people to pay me. Hell, if there's questions, and speaking of which, right, if you've got questions, we'd love for you to comment on this feed. Comment below, give us those questions so that we can answer it live, so that we can give this to you. Like actually give it. We don't want anything. We're not asking for anything. What we want to do, we want to come from that place of giving to make a difference. Remember, I suggested, hey, get that outside perspective. If you can give each of us a little bit of an idea, paint us a little bit of a picture of who you are, whether you are that tattoo studio, beauty salon, whatever it is. We'd love to be able to share some stuff with you. I was working with a young lady that has a tinting company and stuff. We came up with some really cool ideas, some really cool stuff it was way out of her swim lane. And at the same time, it's going to provide that disproportionate amount of value. Trust me, none of her competitors are going to be thinking about doing this, because this is dynamic. This is different. This is like so far to the swim lane, but it's respective of what's going on right now. It's extremely respective of it. And because of it, she's going to get to keep her business going. It's stuff like that if you can't see it, if you're so far in the forest with your business that you can't see it, ask for someone else outside. Both Mick and I, we're more than happy to help. This is what we're here for.
And that's exactly right. And this is all about adding massive value to, as disproportionate amounts of value to all the businesses in Australia and Canada and the US and anywhere who watches this video. So if there is any questions, comments, comment on the video. Even if you're watching the replay or watching the video later on, comment on it. Just send it through. Give us a bit of context. Even PM either of us. Look, and we're going to get guests on each week. So people that are crushing it in businesses, people that need help, people that are like literally going to come on and say, "Well, this is my business and this is what it does, and I'm stuck," and we'll help them. Or we might, like accountants and vineyards and a whole range of people, so that you out there as the business community of the world can see the opportunities and leverage off ideas that we share. And we just want to add as much value as we can. Like I said, there's no money exchange, there's no sales pitch at the end of this. It's just, even if you want a quick message chat, Jamie and I are both here. Just flick us through a message, a comment. We can PM each other. I'm happy to add as much value as we can to any businesses out there. And I know there's lots of uncertainty and lots of challenges right now, but there's so much more opportunity than there are challenges. You just need to focus on them.
That's exactly true. And if that's all we did, if that's the one thing that we did was help you get focused in on just that one area, not the 100 other things that are going on, but just that one area where it can really move the needle for you, where it can change the entire game for you, then we've all won. And that's what it's all about. Seeing you win, seeing you thrive and prosper, to see you quite literally defy the standard that's been set out there, to go and set your new standard, to set something brand new that once this is over, you come out on top, that you're winning.
And that's it. And that's what it's all about, is making sure that the new opportunities, and this is the new standard that you set, and that you come out on top. And that's what it's all about for us. And that's why I coach people. That's why I do business consulting. That's why I love business, because it creates opportunities for people in their life that they will not get as an employee. And I want to see people take full advantage of all those opportunities and live the life they deserve. That's what drives me. And I'm sure that's very similar to what drives Jamie, because we just want to add value to the businesses in the world. So,
absolutely. With that said, I think we've come to the end of our show today. We got some really great questions answered. We talked about that process of innovation, how we can innovate, what has to happen, get the ideas out, figure out what that 20% is, what are the top needle movers, schedule the time, and then take that action. Treat it as though it is that specialist appointment. Get that same mindset around it. Discover how you can provide a disproportionate amount of value to your clients, whether it's having that table in your store, in your location where you're giving back, right? Give a penny, take a penny. That same principle, but with food, with those things, toilet paper, all that stuff, right? Where can you make that bigger difference? If you're still open, if you're a business that's open, man, you've got such an amazing opportunity to really give back, to really make an impact in this time.
So much so. And look, it's a huge opportunity to make an impact, no matter what you're doing, whether it's give a penny, take a penny type concept, adding more value. The biggest thing right now is to make sure that you're adding more value. And with that said, we'll say goodbye. Thank you for joining us today. If you didn't, watch the replay and enjoy that. Have an outstanding weekend, and we'll talk to you next weekend.
Thank you so much.